Welcome, everyone, to the Friday, February 25th edition of the Fireside Friday show here on Fireside. The Signals from Mars Fireside Friday show, I should say. Technical difficulties as we were starting things up now, and hopefully we have everything squared away at the moment. Interesting times for everyone. And let's see. I'm trying to make sure that I don't have old man hair here. Kind of difficult when you're pushing 50. But anyway, just trying to get all the various chats open and whatnot so that I can keep up with what everyone is saying. So I hope you guys are doing great. I see Johan in the chat. Was talking to Johan for a little bit via various chats open. All right. Let me mute the extra sounds there. And it looks like we're ready, folks. So saw a weird cable hanging there. Didn't realize it was for something else. But anyway. And so the setup for this, since I have to go through my cell phone, isn't the same as my regular phone or my regular camera. So let's see, Brad joining us as well. Busy day for new releases today. And let's hop on that real quick before bringing you guys up on stage to talk for a bit. And so kicking things off, we have Scorpions with Rock Believer. Came out today. Super psyched for this album, for you guys to finally hear it. I've been listening to it for a few weeks now, and I really enjoy the album. I truly think it's their best album since Savage Amusement. And I said it in the write-up that I have up on MarsAttacksRadio.com that, yeah, I really like Humanity Hour 1, and I really like Unbreakable. But this kind of brings it back to the full essence of what Scorpions is about. And I was hoping, they're bringing Mickey D in. Let's hope that he has an influence on them. And to me, it looks like he has, in the sense that there's really only one ballad. It's a really good ballad. It feels like a classic ballad. I know that after Still Loving You and Winds of Change took off, it seems like every Scorpions album needed to have 3-4 ballads. And it kind of, it was okay, easy to skip over. But what I'm getting at is the fact that members of Scorpions have been very influential, but they've never had a big name artist come in. And I think Mickey D, with his time in King Diamond, Don Dokken, and most notably Motorhead, is probably the biggest name to ever come into the band. No disrespect to James Kotak, but he came from Kingdom Come, and Motorhead is one of the most legendary bands of all time. And Mickey is just such a damn good player. If anyone disputes how good of a player Mickey is, just listen to the song Sacrifice by Motorhead. And you tell me if Mickey can play anything or not. So if you're, like I said in my write-up, if you're a Scorpions fan, you need to check the album out. If you're a hard rock fan, you need to check the album out. So other albums that came out today, Hammerfall, Corpse Grinder, with our recently interviewed Charles Belmore and his brother play on that album. Tigers of Pang Tang have released a new album. I need to check that out. Elysian, Sirius Black, Dashboard Confessional, Thurston Moore of Dinosaur Jr. fame, Di Virgilio, Morse, and Jennings have released a new album. Sasami, I guess is how you pronounce that. Fetal Blood Angel, or Fetal Blood Eagle, excuse me. Cobra the Impaler, Bad Omens, Spill Your Guts, Sepulchral or Sepulchral, I don't know. They're Spanish, and I don't even know how to pronounce that. Sepulchral. It's kind of weird. Volcanova, Arnhish, I guess that's pronounced. Darkness Everywhere, Spiral Skies, Jason Blake, Sports Minotaurs and Hug Victims, Blood Incarnation, Reckless Love, Abraham, Mountaineer, and Leadfinger have all released full-length EPs from Guns N' Roses. Finally, Hard School is out, the physical copy. Corey Taylor has released, it's supposed to be an EP, but it's like 10 songs deep. They're all covers. Let's see, Old Iron and Verdun, Mad Roast, and An Evening Redness. Reissues from Killing Joke, Crocus, and Dog Eat Dog. I believe I have all of those. And then a compilation from Motivation, which is a bunch of different guest singers and stuff singing on that. So that's what's going on in the new releases. Let's check out some metal headlines here real quick from Blabbermouth. We're kicking it on over to some of the patrons that are here. I don't know if it's going extremely slow. Maybe it's my web. Maybe it's my internet connection. All right, here we go. So the headlines. Metallica announced U.S. stadium shows. It's funny because I saw someone mention how they're taking out Greta Van Fleet, Nice Nine Kills. Why can't they have bands like this and like that? It's two shows. It's two engagements, and it's not a full tour. They've just been announced here in Spain, about 40 minutes from me, and they're going to be playing with Weezer, Helicopters, and two other bands. And it's about a little over $100, if I remember correctly. No, well, if you want the best seats, it's closer to 200. But cheap seats, if I want to get 4 tickets for me and the rest of my family, it'll set us back around $360. So thinking about it, not thinking about it at the same time, because I don't think I'll be able to afford that, but we'll see. Udo covers We Will Rock You because we needed another cover of We Will Rock You, folks. Metal community reacts to Russia-Ukraine crisis. Jeff Tate to perform Promised Land album in its entirety. Why Heart didn't tour last year, and fans chant "Fuck Chris Barnes" at a Cannibal Corpse show. Let's see. Rob Halford says leftover material from his Confess autobiography is being used in a soon-to-be-announced project. Saxon releases documentary about making of Carpe Diem album. Ex-Motley Crue singer John Corabi. People have lost all sense of reasoning. Scorpions share music video for new single, When You Know Where You Come From. Yeah, that's the only ballad off of the album, if I'm not mistaken. So it's not bad. Most of Deicide's next album has been written, says new guitarist Taylor Nordberg. Watch Sebastian Bach cover the Allman Brothers band Midnight Rider with the Allman Betts Band in Las Vegas. Thrilling. Kicks guitarist Ronnie Yonkins, I believe I'm pronouncing that correctly, on his battle with alcoholism. This is my 5th rehab I've been to in 10 years. Wow. Hope he's able to find a way out. Hope he's able to find peace himself. And let's see, Hollywood Undead releases new single Chaos. Cannibal Corpse drummer says it's a complete compliment being called the Motorhead of death metal. Right? Oh, Jesus. Dee Snider releases music video for Stand, featuring footage from documentary about deadly Great White Concert Fire. Okay. Stand is a song that I've been playing a lot. Just the lyrics mean a lot to me. It's something that I'm trying to instill in my kids, trying to instill the fact that, live for something, do something, be proud in what you do. I don't know how else to put it, but I want the best for them, and I don't know. I hope the lyrics click. How about that? Rush release Vital Signs live in YYZ 1981 from Moving Pictures 40th anniversary. John Bonham's grandson teams up with Korn's Ray Luzier on Love Yourself single. Okay, so he's the son of Jason Bonham. All right. Interesting that they wouldn't put that in the headline, but okay. Hear Corey Taylor's acoustic version of Red Rider's Lunatic Fringe. It sounds like the song was neutered, in my opinion. All right, so I listened to this entire covers EP, and I like his cover of Kiss's Not Love Her All I Can. That's what they end with. Come On and Love Me. And then Eddie Money's Shakin', because it's acoustic and it's plugged in. Or no, I'm sorry, it's electric and it's plugged in. Everything else is acoustic. Lunatic Fringe is a song that I've heard a million times on the radio. And just the acoustic version is like, okay. He does like some other stuff where songs that I didn't originally care for, so it really does nothing for me, but whatever. Let's see. Watch Journey perform in Philadelphia during Freedom 2022 U.S. tour. Stone Temple Pilots drummer says making Verdi, that album, was an amazing and cathartic process. I need to listen to that album. It's all acoustic as well. Meshuggah drops music video for new single, The Abysmal Eye. Mickey D to lead Motorhead tribute concert in Sweden this July. Wow, sounds cool. Brujeria announces spring 2022 U.S. tour. Ukrainian metal band Ginger, Stop the War in Ukraine Now. Violence hopes to record another EP by the fall. Rob Halford urges fans to keep voting for Judas Priest to get inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Let's be honest, folks. Even if they're voted number one, they still pick whoever the hell they want. It only counts as a fraction. So the whole voting process is useless. It's dumb because if they were to allow people for the votes to mean something, but they don't mean anything. It sucks. Def Leppard's Rick Allen. If it wasn't for Charlie Watts, I wouldn't be a drummer. Crowbar dropped music video for new song, Bleeding. Silverstein announces new album, Misery Made Me. Pantera and Z2 Comics celebrate 30 years of vulgar display of power with official graphic novel. Actually picked up a bunch of DC comics today. Went to a comic book shop for the first time in a bunch of years with my kids. And they had a bunch of DC comics that tied in with metal bands like Sepultura, Ghost, Megadeth, and Lacuna Coil. I picked those up. It was funny. I only picked up 2, and the guy at the counter says, "Oh, we have more." Like, okay, cool. Evergrey announces a Heartless Portrait, the Orphan Testament, album releases Save Us music video. Tool's Maynard James Keenan says he is never satisfied with his live performance. I think I can do better. Are they like roasting him? Because I know of shows where he's just gone up there, lied down on his back, and just sung lying down the entire time. So, I don't know. That's kind of saying something. Former Morbid Angel frontman David Vincent's Blessed Are the Sick 30th anniversary celebration to kick off next month. Destruction release music video for new single No Faith in Humanity. Slash never intended to make his top hat part of his signature look. Lamb of God is recording slamming new music with longtime producer Josh Wilbur. Papa Roach frontman on new single Stand Up. We took 3 different music genres and slammed them together. He spoke to Terry Carr of Morristown, New Jersey radio station 105.5. Up until when I lived there, they referred to it as Dover, where I came from, because the station's originally from there. It actually moved to Morristown like over 20 years ago. Yeah, this is what it is. Joe Satriani is still open to doing more stuff with Chickenhead. Yawn. Anyway, that's pretty much getting us up to date with what the music news that I did this week on Patreon. And let's call some people up to talk. Let's see. See if Johan or Brad would like to come up and speak. Johan, how are you today?
I'm doing good.
That is great. Let's see if maybe Brad is out and about. But anyway, Johan, did you get to check out the new Scorpions?
Yeah, I did. I listened to, I think, half the record.
Okay.
It's good.
Thank you, sir. You're the best.
But I read some reviews in Swedish net magazines, but they all were saying the same thing, that they should have kept it to at least 10 or 11 songs, but I don't know. What do you think?
I don't mind. You know, I was looking at it because on Apple Music, it listed as 2 separate albums. And then I realized that they have a regular version and they have a deluxe version that they're selling. So there's a single and double CD set, and then there's a single vinyl and a double vinyl set that they're releasing. So technically the last song on the album is, I think it's the ballad. Let me look at that real quick. Yeah, of course. Just like my computer just crashed before I started the show up. Now, in order to look that up, Apple Music will not open. Wonderful. So let me find a different way to look up the Scorpions album here. I think that the songs, there isn't really any song that's necessarily bad. I do agree. Again, 17 songs seems like a lot. It's an hour and 4 minutes long. The last song is an acoustic version of the ballad. But yeah, I don't mind, because I think for the most part they are good. Yeah. So correct. The last song is the ballad, When You Know Where You Come From. And then technically there's 4 other songs plus the acoustic version of that song on disc 2. So I don't know if the idea there is to keep it one CD, you know, after the deluxe CDs are done, or what the story is. Because I think they did that with like Black Sabbath's 14. I don't think you can find the deluxe version now. You can only find the standard, which is missing like 5 or 6 songs, and possibly the best songs off of 13. So it's kind of weird, but I don't know. We'll see. Brad, did you get to check out the new Scorpions album?
Not yet. I need to, though. Yeah, it's been a busy week. And And thanks for sorting out the whole bonus disc thing, because I was trying to decide whether I should buy just the one disc or get the bonus one. So
Right.
I don't know. I'm kind of leaning towards just getting the proper release and just the one disc.
Yeah, I ordered the vinyl today. I just had certain songs just stuck in my head for the last few weeks. Johan got to hear a few. I don't know, Brad, if you got to listen to one or just a little bit before we went live last week.
Yeah, I've been waiting to get the
Yeah.
disc, but hopefully this weekend I'll get a chance, because I really just want to sit down and listen to it. I don't want to listen to bits and pieces. I want to listen to the whole thing and really take it in. I'm kind of weird that way.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So I'm excited though. I'm really excited to hear it, which is probably not a great thing, because anytime you start, I have this saying: expectations lead to disappointment.
I give it my stamp of approval, or you could look at it. I have a friend here that once we had a discussion of, I forget if it was an album or a show, and he said something to the effect of, he said, expect nothing, be surprised every time.
There you go.
So,
I like that. Yeah.
there you go. We have Rob Rowe checking in via YouTube. Rob, hope you're doing great.
Rob, have you heard the new Scorpions album yet?
Rob, have you heard the new Scorpions album? Yeah, listen to Dr. Brad here.
Like
the new Hammerfall came out as well. I'm assuming that was a big release in Sweden, Johan, the new Hammerfall?
Yeah. Sure. It's everything is in the shadow of the war here.
Right.
So I guess it's a big release, and the latest single is good, but it's hard to compare anything right now with the war is quite close from here.
Yeah. Well, you guys, like Johan and me were going back and forth about an hour ago. Yeah, you guys have literally been threatened by Putin. Said that if Sweden or Finland decide to join NATO, that there will be consequences. Yeah. So I would imagine that things are very tense there. For us here, which we're much farther away, but I mean, they were making a comparison on a sports show that I was listening to yesterday. Usually listen to it at night, and a good chunk of the show was obviously dedicated to the war because it also ties into sports. There's actually a Ukrainian player who plays in second division here, a football/soccer team, who actually plays on a team that's about 40 minutes to the west of me. Is for a team called Sporting Gijón. And he said that, that he wants to go back and fight, but that he knows the team won't let him. He also was saying that, he wouldn't be any good. He doesn't know how to shoot. He doesn't know how to do anything. Since he was a kid, the only thing he knows how to do is play football. So he says, if he has to go, he'll go, but that he's not sure how much he can help. And the sportscasters were saying, we can't believe, you would leave Spain to do that. And I'm thinking, yeah, of course. If it was the opposite, if it's someone who's Spanish and is playing in the NBA, and this war expands over to Spain, knock on wood, hopefully it doesn't. But I'm sure that a lot of athletes would and people would feel the same. It's a difficult time, and hopefully, let's hope that that cooler heads prevail. But with sanctions being placed on different people, they've they've started to warn here to, be careful with they don't recommend leaving your computers on at night now because
Why
of
is that,
hackers.
Victor?
What's that?
Why is that the computer thing? What? Why do you wrote that to me? But
Yeah,
why is
hackers,
explain to
because
me?
they can use your computer to launch cyber attacks on more important things. So they can take like a portion of, without you even knowing, they can take a portion of your hard drive space and set up a what's called a DDoS attack. And this is quite common. They do this all the time. Whenever like WikiLeaks or Anonymous perpetrate some type of a cyber attack, that's how they do it. They use millions of computers from around the world that, unbeknown to the users, are being used to attack a specific thing. So that's why they're saying to be extra careful. I mean, if you're not going on websites that are dangerous, or you're not downloading things or clicking on links that you don't know of, then you should be fine. But they're telling us, this is what they're saying on the radio. They're also talking about warning people that they should have plenty of water, plenty of food, and money with them, just in case if power goes out. And because that's going to be one of the first things that they'll focus on is turning the power grid off. And if the power grid goes off, then ATMs won't work. Supermarkets can't, you can't charge anything with your cards or whatever. So we'll see. Well, let's hope that it doesn't go beyond what we're currently seeing. And I mean, depends on who you speak to. Some sources are saying that the ultimate goal is just to replace the president of Ukraine with somebody who's more friendly to Russia, which they've had plenty in the past. Or there's also, supposedly, Putin has said that he wants to bring back all the former independent countries that were part of the Soviet Union back into Russia. That was the biggest mistake that they ever made, was letting all these countries go. So I don't know, but it's always interesting to me to read news from around the world to see what the different takes are and what's being said in different places.
Yeah. Brad, how is the news going in Utah about this?
Yeah, that's a great question, Johan. Certainly, there's a lot of varying opinions as far as how the role that the U.S. should take in this. I mean, there's plenty of people who feel like it's none of our business. Why should we get involved? And then there's other people that feel like, yes, we should get involved because we can't allow this kind of thing to happen. And so I don't know. I mean, it's America. You got two sides, usually two sides to everything. And then there's probably a third side that just wants to smoke marijuana and
have edibles.
There you go. Yeah, pound down the edibles and wash it down with some bleach. I mean, obviously over here, I mean, we're far, far away from what's going on over there. I mean, I certainly care about those people over there. I don't know what an impact it would have. I mean, it's interesting because yesterday, our markets took a big dive. Actually, the two previous days, and everybody was saying it was because of what was going on with Ukraine. But then today, everything kind of went big, and the stock markets really made a big gains today. So you listen to all these different people spinning it in different ways, and I don't know what to do. I mean, I certainly don't know that I can do anything about this. I certainly worry for you guys that are close to it, though. I mean, as a Swede, what would you like to see the U.S. to do?
Ooh. uh, I don't know. US is. I would like to. Oh, that's a hard question, Brad.
That's all right.
Well,
You don't have to answer that, but I mean, it's. I mean,
I don't think they can't do anything at the moment. That's the thing, and that's why the Ukraine is targeted. That's why they've threatened Sweden and Finland, because none of these countries are in NATO. So the U.S. can't do anything, and the threat of nuclear weapons outweighs the U.S. getting involved. The U.S. gets involved, he's already said he'll use nukes. So they can't really do anything. They can't. I mean, once they hit Poland or the Czech Republic or someone that's in the EU or part of NATO, then a different thing will happen. The other thing too is that Russia wasn't expecting Germany to get to go against them, because 55% of Russia's energy, or of Germany's energy, comes from Russia. So Putin threatened them and said, we'll shut the spigot off if you don't if you don't back me up. So they did exactly the opposite of what they expected, and they said, screw it, we're shutting it off ourselves. This will suck for a few years. Our energy bill is going to go up, but we're going to actually develop something so that we can become self-sufficient. They wanted, and this is why France and Germany had been meeting to try and slow them down, or not slow them down, but try to see if they could reach an accord. But apparently the only thing that he wanted to do was convince them how much better they would be if they sided with Russia. So I don't know. It's difficult. I'm hoping that, again, cooler heads prevail, and that we don't get to that extreme where the U.S. and Germany and France and England and everyone has to get involved. I don't know. I don't think that any of these sanctions are going to do anything to them, because, let's be honest, their biggest, the biggest country that they invest in is China. So I'm sure their fortunes are all backed up there, although most of the oligarchs supposedly have their money in the UK. So there was talk today that Chelsea, who is owned by the owner of a company called Gazprom, who not only sponsors various sports teams in Europe, they sponsor the Champions League, the Europa League. They're a World Cup sponsor as well. Apparently, I'm not sure about FIFA and the UEFA, but I know that a bunch of sports teams like Schalke 04 in Germany has said that they're breaking their sponsorship ties with them. They're willing to give the money back because they don't want anything to do with it. So they're talking about possibly taking Chelsea away from its Russian owner. So we'll see.
Yeah. I don't know. That's terrible. It really is.
I'm scared, to be honest. More than anything, I'm scared for my kids, for Johan's kids, for your son, Brad. People that are 20 and under, because what's this going to do, in the long run, for all of us. If there is a large scale war, what's going to be left after?
Yeah, I to be honest with you, I mean, my son already is convinced the world is going to be finished within like 10 years. So he's trying to do everything he can before that happens. And that's pretty messed up that our kids feel that way about the future, that it's not like they can plan for 20 years down the road of having any kind of success or anything good happening. I don't know,
But
man.
I think with that though too, I think every decade has its,
Oh yeah,
because I was born around the time there was the gas crisis in the 70s. That was going to be the end. Then
yep,
the 80s, it was the morning after. Then the 90s, it was, a combination of a few things. 2000s, it was obviously, terrorism, Al Qaeda, Bin Laden, all of that. And then now we're back to,
back to Russia.
back to Russia, back to the Cold War. And, I don't know. There was somebody talking about the fact that you were bringing up the opinions and how there's, Tucker Carlson has come out and said, oh, well, why should we hate Putin? Why should, and I'm thinking
Yeah.
at the same time that this person said it, they're like, you realize that you're trying to play the Republican card at all times. And if Ronald Reagan, who helped tear down the Berlin Wall, that helped tear Russia down, bring Boris Yeltsin to power, so on and so forth, if the person that's the father of the modern Republican Party were around, he'd want nothing, he wouldn't want him to have anything to do with that party.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I don't know. I'm with you though. I hope that somehow this just kind of cools down and doesn't turn into a big deal. But
Yeah.
I guess you
Well,
never know. You never know.
Yeah. Well, the other thing I will say is that again, the soccer player that they interviewed last night sarcastically said, "Oh, I'm glad that the world is finally watching," and he said something to the extent of, this has been going on for 9 years now. They've been taking liberties every time that a anti-Russian president takes over. Russia has always done something since Ukraine has gotten its independence. He said the only difference this time around is that the entire world is watching. So, he said hopefully now people pay attention and that something can be done. Before going live, I was listening to there was a caller who was talking to a radio station who was calling from Kiev, and he was talking about how there was, bombs going off every 5 to 10 minutes, and how, they have Russian TV and they have Ukrainian TV, and he was saying that each was kind of like telling its own side of what's going on. So,
oh my God.
Yeah. So,
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, for you guys who are closer to this, I hope it doesn't turn into a big problem, and hopefully our politicians will do the right thing. But
let's hope. So, in any event, some music and some politics tonight.
There you go. Yeah.
We come out of COVID, as you said, Johan, and we step into a war. So,
yeah.
Let's hope that it doesn't go beyond this. But, gentlemen, thank you for joining me tonight. We will have Satira, I believe is how it's pronounced, the mastermind behind the robot metal band Electromancy, in the next few minutes on the Signals from Mars live show. If you want to join us in the chat and drop questions for Satira or anything else, just go to MarsAttacksRadio.com and pick any of the platforms you choose, whether that's Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and a bunch of others. 15 in total you can choose from to follow the show.
There you go.
Guys, thank you, and hope you join me in a few minutes. And if not, I hope you guys have a great weekend.
Hey, thanks, Victor. Always good to see you. And yeah, I'll be watching. I'm actually working at the top of the hour, but I'll have it on. And yeah, have a great interview.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
All right, good to
All
hear
right,
from
guys.
you, Ron.
Good to speak with you guys.
Yeah, stay
Yeah.
safe over there.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
All right,
Bye.
guys. See you.
Yeah.
All right.
Bye-bye.
That ends the show. We'll see you in a few minutes on the